Hypixel has an issue.
Hypixel, how could it be
Sort of dying.
But you guys already know that. And no, it's not the fact that they're not updating bedwars or adding new content to Skyblock. The issue is simply Minecraft version 1.8.9. Let me explain. In 2014, Mojang updated its game once again like they had for the previous year. Being the successor to the 1.7 update, it took what was great about that update and improved upon it to make what Hypixel itself says is the most optimized client for their network. But 9 years later, we fast forward to the 1.19 version. Mojang has added so many new blocks and so many new mechanics, with the addition of data packs that allow you to modify your game and texture packs with built-in shaders. New generation servers like TubNet and MTC Islands can create whole new multiplayer experiences. So the question is, how much longer can Hypixel continue like this? Hypixel needs a solution, and first thing that you need to take note in this situation, because obviously the situation isn't the most ideal for Hypixel. Hypixel's core audience is in 1.8.9. Because of that, they can't really do anything outside of 1.8.9 that would capture every single person who plays on Hypixel. If you search for Hypixel online, like on YouTube for example, the main thing that comes up is what? So if you search for Minecraft online, first things you see are things like Minecraft but 100 days, Minecraft but some form of challenge or something. Evidently, the Minecraft content online is in the newest version. New people who are new to Minecraft who search up Minecraft online, they're never going to see Hypixel unless they somehow get recommended it from a random source. Because the main Minecraft audience, which is YouTubers, they don't make Hypixel content. It basically means that Hypixel doesn't have any way of truly growing unless there's some random chance that comes into play. Hypixel can't get any new players because no one can know about Hypixel. There's not enough content creators creating Hypixel content, and because of that, Hypixel is basically just stuck in the situation they are. If you then look at something like MCCI, oh no. If you look at something like MCCI, right? MCCI is obviously on Minecraft version 1.19. And if that's the case, then they're able to appeal to more of the new Minecraft audience because most people who are new to Minecraft are on Minecraft 1.19. Content creators create content that's in the newest version of Minecraft. People who are new to Minecraft see those new versions and they're like, oh, I'm gonna play that, or oh, that's interesting. People who are new to Minecraft also see MCCI because it's on a new version, and things like TubNet because they're on new versions, and basically they're more prone to playing that over Hypixel, basically meaning that Hypixel is stuck at the player count it is at unless content creators start making more content or more people start getting to know about Hypixel. So that's point number one, right? Point number two, however, is just the fact that Hypixel's games aren't optimized for 1.8.9. Hypothetically, if Hypixel makes a game right now, a new game that is ideal to pop off some sort of mini game that everyone enjoys, compared to MCCI, who can easily, and TubNet, who can easily create these mini games, there's no reason for Hypixel to make them, and I miss my hits. But no, unless it's specifically PvP based, there's no way that Hypixel would have a monopoly or an advantage other than if another server like MCCI or TubNet in new versions were to create it. If you look at MCCI, the aesthetic is amazing. What they're able to do there, simply because of the texture pack compatibility and just everything that 1.19 gives. It just goes to show how nice they can make their mini games. And if you compare it to Hypixel, the only thing that they can really do is make the mini game work well, and they can maybe try pulling something in Smash Heroes where they use custom texture packs. In reality, most people aren't going to be interested in it if they can easily just have the same thing on MCCI, which has more mechanics in general. Unless Hypixel creates some PvP based game mode, because it is 1.8.9 and 1.8.9 is specifically known for the PvP. Unless they make a game mode which is specifically catered towards that, then they'd be able to succeed in terms of monopoly, because obviously MCCI can't make a game mode with 1.8.9 PvP because they're on a newer version. They could have some plugin that makes it 1.8.9, but it would be very, very weird to play with. For example, if you look at the games that Hypixel has, Skyblock, for example, which is currently Hypixel's largest game, Skyblock can easily be recreated on MCCI and there'd be no difference basically. The only difference is that Hypixel has there's hype culture related to Hypixel, which is kind of ironic, but there's hype culture related to Hypixel, so they're more likely to have more players because, well, generally Hypixel has more players at the moment. But mind you, with MCCI that hasn't even been open to the public yet, it already has 1k players, I think. At least it has a pretty high amount. But if you look at something like bedwars, for example, bedwars, although it's more optimized towards 1.8.9 because of the PvP mechanic, but the general idea is still very, very doable in 1.19. You just need people who fight people with beds, and then something that makes the game more tense with the combat version that 1.19 has. And so yeah, the main issue with Hypixel is that the games that they're making aren't really optimized for 1.8.9, and so can easily be made by any other server that's on a newer version and be exactly the same, if not for the hype culture associated with Hypixel. Where did this guy go? Is he still there? Yeah, he's still there. The third and last point that's the most important thing to think about here is the fact that MCCI and 1.19 are extremely optimized for growth. Because at 1.19, of course, like it wasn't specifically going to be optimized. Like it didn't choose to be optimized, but just the fact that Mojang created 1.19 and 1.19 is the newest version. Everyone on YouTube, for example, like when they search on Minecraft, that's the first thing they see, 1.19. Most people are going to search for 1.19 and not like other versions. 1.8.9 might be searched for, but that's mostly because of Hypixel, but it could also be because of the other 1.8 servers that exist. If you look at MCCI, it basically has all the things required for growth. It has new ideas that you can't get other places. It also has hype. Like everyone is hyping this thing up. But like even I have a sibling, right, and he doesn't even play Minecraft, but he knows about MCCI. Like he knows about MCCI and has heard more about MCCI than Hypixel recently. So obviously there's a lot of hype towards it. And then the last thing is the fact that it's like some of the game modes are competitive. Like all the game modes are competitive. Am I gonna let him get that final? Nah, that's not good. No way. Having it being competitive gives an incentive to play because then you feel like I've achieved something even though it's just a block game. If that's how you feel, then people will play more. I can now tell the 7-year-old random dude on the other side of the planet that's also playing the game that they're bad. So it's just more fun to play that way. Disappear. So yeah, basically MCCI 1.19, they're so optimized for Minecraft in general that it's pretty difficult for Hypixel to come in and like change anything, especially with like no new players, or particularly new players, because not many content creators are making Hypixel content. Nah, he did the old switcheroo. Oh, he has an iron sword. Yes, no way! So basically, what are the solutions that Hypixel can like use? They're pretty straightforward and there's not really much else they can do, at least that I see. Then if they were to do something, like these are the things they have to do. Number one is like, double down on 1.8.9. Like if Hypixel were to double down on 1.8.9 and focus specifically on that game mode, then at least that way they'd have a monopoly in some way or form. But otherwise, the only thing that Hypixel has going for it is the fact that they have credibility and like people play on it for a long time. But at the same time, so does servers like MCCI. MCCI has credibility because of Minecraft Championships, and like a ton of people know that. Honestly, the perfect competitor for Hypixel if it picks up and if nothing bad happens, right? So the first solution is that Hypixel basically have to double down on 1.8.9 and completely capitalize off the fact that they are a 1.9 server. Sadly, if they were to do that, it would mean that a lot of game modes that aren't necessarily 1.8.9, like Build Battle even. I know like you can play it on 1.14 or something like that, but even then, like things like Build Battle are more optimized for 1.19. So instead of having games are more optimized for 1.19 or just more optimized for general Minecraft, why not only like focus on 1.8.9 and then make sure that any 1.8.9 player comes? Although this is an idea, but it would be difficult to implement, of course, because if you're new to Minecraft whatsoever, then you wouldn't even be able to join Hypixel because everything will be 1.8.9 idealized. And currently, like Hypixel's stuck in this situation where like everything has to be 1.8.9, but nothing can be too difficult so that a 1.19 player can't play it. Which is, I guess, the reason why their KB is a bit weird in some cases. Now, the other solution number two that Hypixel can do, use, Hypixel can maybe try like splitting 1.8.9 and 1.19 on their server. It could have like variable effects. Like obviously splitting both of them would mean that you have to focus on each of them individually, putting way more of a workload on the Hypixel stuff. But then that also means that they're able to create games that appeal to both the 1.8.9 community and the 1.19 community. Like okay, if you look at Hypixel SMP, for example, you can't play on that unless you're like 1.18 plus, I'm pretty sure. Because of that, you basically only have 1.18 people playing on there, and you can implement 1.18 mechanics that don't exist in 1.8.9. But basically, yeah. And honestly, I don't know, that would probably affect the player count quite a bit. People wouldn't be able to play on Hypixel if they're in a certain version, so that could have adverse effects. So I don't know if this is like the ideal way to go about it. I have to make sure that I'm prepared because I'm scared. Haha, that rhymed. Prepared and scared. That's actually interesting, like prepared rhymes with scared, even though like they're ideally they're two opposing things. Who's left in the game? There's pink, there's white. I've really not been focusing, I'll be honest. The white dude's over there. I'm just gonna pearl and then break his bed. Oh, GG. And the third thing that Hypixel can do, like if you've been following the trend, like double down on 1.8.9, have both 1.8.9 and 1.19 game modes. Obviously, the third one would be try to go with 1.8.9. Like, try to completely focus on 1.8.9, which obviously is a bad idea. Like, I wouldn't do that if that's Hypixel. The benefits of this is that they'd be able to use all the mechanics on 1.8.9, or 1.19, sorry, and they'd also be able to appeal to the 1.19 audience and gain 1.19 traction. But obviously, Hypixel is like 51% of Hypixel people are on 1.8.9, at least according to some forum posts. Changing it so that you have to be on 1.19 is a really, really bad idea, especially because most game modes like Bed Wars and Sky Wars and whatnot, their PvP mechanics are better for 1.8.9, so it's just not a good idea. Yeah, basically, those are the 3 solutions I can see. Let me know if you have any other solutions, because I think it's a really interesting topic.